Hey, Tripp Kramer here from trippadvice.com, and next to me my beautiful girlfriend, Brittany Potter. You might recognize her from a video we did a few months ago called How to Make a Girl Smile, and she's still smiling. Amazing. How did we do that? If you want to follow her on Instagram, I'm going to put her handle below in the description. Very simple. It's @Potter. So, @Potter, thanks for being here.
You're welcome. I'm so happy to be here.
Thanks for being here in the place that we live in. I'm so glad you decided to show up. We're talking today about how to hold a girl's hand, and Brittany has some really great advice and some good insight into a topic that I know feels kind of funny. Like I was talking to you about this before. Like it feels funny to make a video on how to hold a girl's hand because it's simple. Like this is it. That's how you do it. End of video. But there is a little bit more to it than just holding a girl's hand. Now, I want you to understand the reasoning behind why it's important. Also, Brittany has some really good tips into when you can do it to make it less awkward, because just like a first kiss, it is a little awkward to break the touch barrier. It's awkward to just go in and start touching a girl when you guys haven't done that before, and it makes a lot of guys nervous.
So when a guy holds my hand, I feel very comforted. It's a move you can kind of make on the first or second date, just because, like you said, it does break that touch barrier. And it makes a girl who may be a little bit shy or nervous feel like she can open up to you because you're kind of making that first move, and she's like, okay, he's making me feel comforted, he's making me feel safe here. I feel like I can kind of open up. I think once you do break that touch barrier, a girl is able to kind of be like, okay, like I'm able to relax, he's like comforting me. You know, maybe she's like nervous whether or not you like her, I don't know, but she's gonna feel more comfortable. I keep trying to do it.
It's okay. So you're making a good point here when you're saying that it makes her feel a bit more comfortable. I think that when it comes to, you know, first getting to know a girl, is that they don't always feel comfortable with you right away. So you're saying this is a really great move to do to break the touch barrier, to make her feel more comfortable with you, and, you know, getting to that point where you guys might end up going for a kiss and even having more dates. So I think with that being said, there is a great way to hold a girl's hand. And again, I just want to be very clear here. You can pretty much hold her hand in any way and it's going to be fine. I'm just giving you some of the best practices. Okay, so basically a really good way to hold her hand is when your hand or your arm is above hers, and then you hold it like this, okay? So let's stand up for a second. So as you can see here, my hand is completely over hers, my arm is over hers, versus hers being over mine. So again, not much of a difference, but there is something when I'm holding her hand over this and I'm holding Brittany's hand like this, that she's feeling a little bit more secured and a little bit more protected. So as you can see here, my arm is over hers, and there's two different ways to do it, right? You can interlock your fingers just like this, or you can do what I call the cup, which is just your hands kind of in this cup and you hold it like this. Really doesn't matter what you're doing, but at the end of the day, a little bit more romantic, a little bit more comforting is when you guys have the interlocking fingers like this. So I recommend doing it like this. All right, so just so I don't, you know, sound crazy here, because I know we're getting into really specific details on how to hold a girl's hand, but when it's like this and my hand is over yours, my arm is over yours, versus me being underneath, do you feel a difference there?
Yeah, this feels uncomfortable to me. It feels kind of weird. Whereas if you're on top, this is nice. This is like comforting. It's just, I can't explain it. It's just more comfortable.
Now another thing is timing. Like when should you go and hold a girl's hand? And we were talking about this before. You actually had some ideas of when a guy can go to hold a girl's hand so it's not so awkward or weird, because, you know, again, we're breaking the touch barrier. So
yeah, I think it probably does feel really weird if you're on a first or second date to like reach across the table and ask for their hand or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think the best time to hold a girl's hand is when you are going somewhere, when you have a destination. So you're either going to the date, going to another bar, going to your car, going to her Uber, whatever.
So like in transition.
In transition. It's a transitional move.
Ooh, I like that.
And there are 2 words that you should use when you do it. So you just have to say, let's go, and grab her hand. So if you just go, hey, come on, let's go. We're gonna go to the next bar.
Come on, let's go.
Come on, let's go. So you just have to say, let's go. And you can grab her hand and take her wherever you're going, and you're leading the way, you're grabbing her hand to take her with you, and then, you can kind of maneuver your way into holding it like this, or however you're gonna hold her hand. But it makes her feel like you're in control and like you're leading her.
Yeah, I think another way to do it is, instead of going right to hold her hand, if you're doing this let's go move where you guys are like, okay, in transition, is you can go and kind of touch her elbow. So imagine we're sitting here, I'm like, hey, let's go. I kind of go like this, and then I move into grabbing her hand. So you're kind of breaking the touch barrier by kind of touching her arm, grabbing her elbow, and then slowly moving into holding her hand, which is, again, just another way to make it less awkward. So another good move to do if you want to make this more seamless into moving into your first kiss is, if you guys are holding hands and you guys are walking, what you can do is, when you're holding her hand, just give it like a little squeeze, and that's going to sort of motion her to stop, but you're going to have to also stop. So you squeeze her hand a little bit, you stop, and then you turn towards her, and then you go for a kiss.
Another thing you can do is, if you're in control of her hand, you can kind of slow her down and then grab her other hand.
Ooh, I like that.
And go in for a kiss.
All right, lots of great information on how to hold a girl's hand. Who knew there'd be so much to talk about in terms of just holding a girl's hand? But one note that's very important, I know you guys will be asking this in the comments. What if you go to hold her hand and she feels uncomfortable, she kind of backs off a little bit, or she flinches a little bit, or maybe you go to hold her hand and then you're holding it for like 30 seconds, but then she sort of lets go. So what I want you to do is make sure to just not pay attention to it. If this is happening, that just means she's not comfortable yet. She's not ready to get that physical with you yet or break the touch barrier. So you have to respect that. So I wouldn't try again. I would just kind of let that go. But also, not to make it awkward, is just keep going with the date. Don't call attention to it. Don't be like, why don't you want to hold my hand? Don't say anything. Just move forward with wherever you guys were going to go, because if you're doing this, then you were in transition somewhere. So keep going and just understand that she's not ready yet and that she might be ready at a later time. All right, if you want to see more amazing Brittany Potter, check her out at Potter. I'm going to put that in the description below. Also follow me on Instagram at Tripp Advice. Also, that will go below the description. Brittany, thank you for doing this and being here.
You're welcome.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.
Bye.